right. So we're going to talk about anemia. Anemia, a lot of people think that like there are various levels of anemia. If you are low iron, I would put you under the anemia category. Whether your doctor's like you're anemic or not, we're basically kind of doing the whole umbrella of people that have low iron here. Uh, so there's actually two other types of anemia that I'm not talking about on here. They're very, 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 very rare. So I didn't really think that it was necessary to talk about them because we're more talking about general population here. So iron deficiency anemia is the most common, and it's especially for women, and that's who we are here. It's definitely become more and more and more of a thing over the years. And essentially, it's when the body isn't producing enough iron. It doesn't have enough iron to produce hemoglobin, which is the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen. And there's various different reasons for that. Our diets are not high enough in iron, poor absorption, and that can come from things like me with autoimmune digestion disorders, cancers, medications, various different things there. Blood loss. So this can be from menstruation, from surgeries, those kinds of things too, TIF, gastrointestinal bleeding, those various different things there. And also increased iron needs. I was just talking with one of my friends and she's like, the only time I'm ever anemic is during pregnancy. And if you look at pregnancy, you have an increased need for iron. So it's not abnormal to be anemic during pregnancy and really only have that be the time because you have higher needs of iron in that space. So this is iron deficiency anemia. The other deficiency is vitamin deficiency. So there's a couple vitamins that are necessary for producing red blood cells. And so we're looking at vitamin B12 and folate. A lot of people know that vitamin B12 helps produce energy, and there's a reason that vitamin B12 helps give you more energy. And part of that is that it helps production of red blood cells. And then folate is another important piece. And when we're just talking about pregnancy, prenatals are high in folate, most of them folic acid, but we're not going to talk about that today. And part of that is because of this increased need for production of iron and red blood cells. And also the DNA synthesis. There's multiple different reasons, but part of that is it helps us create iron. So when we have deficiencies in those different vitamins, it can impair our red blood cell production, and that can cause anemia. This is the same thing where the deficiencies can come from poor dietary, malabsorption issues like we were talking about, medications interfering with the vitamin absorption as well. Okay, so symptoms of anemia. There are a lot of symptoms, and this is not me saying that if you have these symptoms, you're anemic. Definitely not. There's obviously multiple reasons you can have various different, like you're tired or you have shortness of breath or pale skin. These are common symptoms that we're looking at here. So the shortness of breath is because your body does not have the needed iron. Iron helps with the transportation of oxygen, right? So if your body is not transporting the oxygen that it needs to sustain whatever activity you're doing, even if it's just sitting, then you might have shortness of breath. The dizziness and the lightheadedness is common when you stand up. That's where you'll see it a lot is when you're standing up quickly, you might get dizzy or lightheaded. Pale skin, cold hands and feet, irregular heartbeats. The fatigue and the weakness is the biggest. When you see people that are dealing with anemia, one of the biggest telltale signs is they are chronically exhausted. And so that is one of the biggest, like people go in, and I know Elise can speak to this big time of just that, like, all you want to do is lay in bed and veg out, sleep, all of that kind of stuff because you are so tired. But if you look at this other the graphic here, it talks about some of the other things. Hair loss is a big one. Bruising, if you're easily bruised, have bruises start popping up and you're like, I have no idea where that came from. That can be a sign of it as well. Restless leg, slow healing. If you're lacking the blood cell production, you are not going to be able to heal as quickly as well. So there's a few of those. Who is at risk of being anemic? So women of childbearing age, so back to the heavy menstruation, that because of obviously we're losing blood every month. Also, pregnancy increases the iron requirements, and so pregnant women are also at risk. Teens and children, they're vulnerable to rapid growth. So this is another time where you need more, where your body requires more, like pregnancy. When you're growing and developing, your body needs more. We all know our diets are incredibly lacking in this day and age because we are living off of processed foods, what's quick, what's easy. We're not eating whole, real foods. A lot of the foods we're eating are more fortified, and fortified foods are not going to be absorbed as readily as something where it's like a piece of steak that's really high in iron. Your body is going to really like that natural form of iron a whole lot more. Also, you're going to see the beginning of periods, that is going to increase their need for iron as well. Older adults, so as they're declining in age, they typically eat less nutrient dense food. And they might not be having as high of absorption as well. So chronic medical conditions that you see in the aging can increase the chances of being anemic. Chronic diseases, this is back where I'm going to talk kind of about like autoimmune, digestion issues, those kinds of things. Your body is not able to absorb, but also your entire immune system is very compromised. We know most of our immune system happens in our digestive system. So when you have things like IBD, especially, so that's when I'm kind of going to autoimmune, your immune system's down, your gut is down, and a lot of the times with IBD, you're going to see bleeding and just gastrointestinal bleeding. So that will, not only are you not absorbing as much, but you also are seeing the loss of blood there. Cancer, you're at risk here, various different autoimmune disorders. Chronic inflammation is going to play a part here as well. And then vegans and vegetarians, the food they consume is no surprise really here. It's a lot lower in iron, vitamin B12. And so because we get a lot of the iron and B12 from meat specifically, like red meats, those kinds of things, it's more often that you're going to see them struggling with iron deficiency. So ways to support it, surprise, surprise, diet. Next, we were just talking about meats, poultry, fish, beans, lentils, tofu, fortified cereals, going back to kind of that fortified, that's not the best way to get it. Also, when you're looking at fortified, you're typically going to be seeing folic acid instead of folate as well. Spinach is great, and leafy greens. We're going to talk a little bit more about this in a minute, but iron-rich food should be paired with vitamin C-rich food. So that also, it mentions in here, citruses, lots of fruit are going to have the vitamin C, bell peppers, tomatoes. So that can enhance the absorption. And also iron supplements from there. And also with supporting further, supplementing with the B12 and the folate can help increase that iron production, as to make sure that we are not deficient in those is important if we're looking at anemia. I'm going to make a note here with the iron supplements is, as we're going to talking about IronWoman, we know that supplements aren't created equal. We're all aware of that here. This is definitely, when I see iron supplements, that's a huge space. So a lot of people might be anemic, but they severely struggle with taking iron supplements for many different reasons. One, they can be very harsh on your stomach. So some people experience a severe nausea, bloating, gas, gastrointestinal issues. They can be very, very constipating as well. And so they're hard on the digestive system. That's typically because of the harsh form of iron that they use, that honestly is also not very bioavailable. It's not high absorption. So people that experience these symptoms typically are also not taking it as often as they need to, because they're experiencing these negative symptoms. And so that kind of leads to this rabbit race kind of idea where they're always anemic and they can't take the supplements. And so finding the right iron supplement is important here to actually be able to supplement you properly. So talking about IronWoman, IronWoman, yay, it's here. It is officially for sale. You can grab it off the website now. I am super, super, super excited about this because 1 out of 3 women are anemic. And so we are really coming into a space that is needed. I am a firm believer in X Factor. It's a very, very powerful multivitamin, but sometimes we need more. And like Elise was one of those. And, you know, when you're dealing with severe blood loss and you need something else, it's nice to have an option. I do personally, I occasionally take an additional iron like that time of the month, being a woman. And that just helps me maintain status quo kind of idea, because I'm not anemic, but I don't want to go that direction. So IronWoman is called a precision iron supplement. So there's a precision probiotic, and that probiotic in it, it's the Lactoplanta Bacillus plantarum. I'm just going to call it a probiotic. And that is specifically in there to help enhance absorption and the creation of increase the bioavailability of the iron that is inside IronWoman. So this is very, very powerful. IronWoman is completely designed around being absorbable and gentle on the digestive system. So we're not going to be dealing with constipation, nausea, bloat, upset stomach, those kinds of things. This is actually something that people are going to be able to consume without getting sick. It's kind of the idea behind it. So we have vitamin C in there, as we mentioned, that helps increase the absorption. Cysteine, this is new to me, just to be fully transparent here. It's amino acid to aid in the absorption and the utilization of iron as well. So once again, like I mentioned, everything is about bioavailability and increasing absorption in here. And then the ferrous fumarate. So this is, we were talking about ferritin. This is going to help like that ferritin space specifically. So it's an iron compound that's easily absorbed, supports the hemoglobin production and red blood cells. So it is effective and it's gentle on the stomach, like it's mentioning in the graphic there. As always, all of our products are gluten-free. And this one's also vegan, non-GMO. And if you didn't know, it is pink as well. It's kind of cute. It's a pink capsule. They actually use beetroot, like is in the slim, to give it that pink color. It's kind of our cute little standalone kind of idea. I wanted to bring in, so we did have a pretty large product testing panel, I guess I want to call it. And we were able to grab some of the testimonies from it, and they absolutely were mind-blowing to me. And so I wanted to share a few of them here. You guys are welcome to read it. But a lot of the things that we were seeing is their digestion was totally fine. So they weren't having any constipation, diarrhea, like someone dealt with IBS. So digestion wise, I didn't see it. There was no reports of people having issues taking them and having digestion issues. there was a lot of reports on that time of the month. People weren't gaining weight. They weren't having headaches. Headaches were going down. A lot of people are saying, like, I get a headache. Usually before I start my period, I didn't have a headache when I had my period this time. Some people are reporting like they've lost weight since starting it as well. They're having all day energy. They're going all day. And then I've got a couple more. Oh, this one right here. This woman in just a month, her level went from 8 to 16. So that's a great jump because 7 to 8 is very, very, very low. So increasing that can be an absolute game changer. I'm gonna go to the next one because I have a few more. So this is another one, no digestion issues. Oh, I repeated one of them. Sorry. Oops. My bad. But just everyone has basically been raving about IronWoman and how it helped them from the trial group. So we have brand new combos. You can buy IronWoman all by itself. It's $19 if you purchase IronWoman by itself. And I will tell you, hold on. Losing weight is a great benefit. Yep, it sure is. At least knows what happens when you're anemic and if you can gain weight. So IronWoman is $19. So it's really honestly a great price point for a high quality iron supplement here. What you're going to be getting, we're definitely like sitting in a competitive market in that space. You can get the triplex with IronWoman in it. We have this new combo. I don't know if you guys can see this, the IronWoman Wellness. So that has active, Vital Biome, X Factor, and IronWoman. For anyone struggling with anemia, I would absolutely say you need X Factor and you want IronWoman. So the X Factor is going to have the B12 and the folate, the methylated forms too, as always, that are going to be really important, but it also has that naturally occurring iron in the New Zealand black currant. And so we're going to help with that naturally occurring iron and with the IronWoman. So I would always combine, if you have someone that's dealing with anemia, make sure they're taking both of those. And so that combo is great. And also active, if you're not aware, active is fairly high in vitamin B12 as well. So that's going to help with with that side of it, with the production too. And then we have the IronWoman Power Pack back over here on this left-hand side. And that has the triplex. It's basically a combo of all of these. So it's the triplex plus the power, the wellness, the IronWoman Wellness. So it's those two smaller pack combined. So triplex, X Factor, active, Vital Biome, and IronWoman all combined. And the free gift with purchase that you see here, it's a lip gloss. This lip gloss is not a new product that you can buy alone. It's a free product that you can get only in the IronWoman Wellness combo or the IronWoman Power Pack combo, and it's while supplies last. I've heard really good things. It's a microbiome friendly lip gloss. It's very clean, long lasting, hydrating, all the good things. Surprise, surprise. So that comes, like I said, while supplies last, in the two larger combos that you see here. That is all I have. I'm going to stop sharing. Does anybody have any questions? I'm here for it. I'm expecting questions. Come on. Did I just pass?
I had to get
There we go.
I had to get my thing unmuted. So my ferrous sulfate has 65 milligrams elemental iron. So I'm assuming, let's see, I was just looking at this and it said, let me go back to my picture. It says that one pill has 10 milligrams. So,
So
is that
I'll
a different
be straight
kind,
with
or
you.
would I need 6?
I wouldn't take 6. I wouldn't.
But I'm like, well, that's a lot.
No, because one of the biggest things that we're looking at here is bioavailability and absorption. So if
Okay.
you are someone who's dealing with severe anemia, I would recommend taking 2 a day. I would.
Okay.
Because we've
I'll
got
have
to
to
get
look at
that,
what my number was.
we've got to get it up. Um,
Yeah.
if it's not made for someone who like is iron transfusion on the verge kind of idea.
Yeah.
This is more made for a general population kind of person, right? No
Hmm.
surprise.
Yeah.
We're not here trying to, transfuse people.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's a supplement. However, I've seen people, my athletes alone go from like a 5 and their iron levels, and their ferritin
Mhm.
levels to what did we always want them at? Like 50. I think our goal was to have them to 50 to 60 in a month with just X Factor. With just X
Oh,
Factor,
okay.
right?
I
So
started taking 3 X Factor when I found out because
yeah,
Elise
yeah,
said that helped her.
yeah, yeah. Obviously it would,
Okay.
for sure. So I believe in the power of X Factor and now adding IronWoman. I 100% believe in the
Yeah.
powers of those. But it's
Hmm.
also one of those, like, if you're severely anemic, you might want to start with 2. And if you're severely anemic now, and maybe it's not you, Tiff, but maybe you have a customer severely anemic, have them start with 2 a day. We want to get those levels up as quickly as possible, right? And then you're
Hmm.
going to have them go
Hmm.
retest if they need to retest. Or how
Yeah.
are you feeling? You feeling better? Are we good?
Hmm.
Maybe we can go down to 1 a day. So,
Okay.
and they're welcome, they can go retest to see where their levels at. If their levels are back up to normal and good, great, we did it.
Yay.
Right?
Yes.
Great question. It's not apples to apples. Of like, this supplement says that 60. Do I need to take 60? You don't necessarily need to take 60. Anybody else? I was really expecting some questions here, guys. Okay.